Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. Okay, so we're back here, part 2 of my design tentatively called Carrier Warfare in the Pacific. When we last left our episode, at the risk of sounding like Search for Tomorrow, we had 3 hits on the Japanese carriers. Now again, as I was saying, I've got a whole group here tentatively working, 75 counters, ranging anywhere from misses to light damage, to dive bomb hits, torpedo hits, and potentially also fire, big explosions and stuff. Obviously a lesser percentage of those because you just don't know if that will happen. And really, it didn't really happen very often other than midway when you think about it. Okay, so again, all these rules are kind of tentative, but for right now, I'm going to roll to find out which 3 carriers got hit. So let's see what happened here. Alright, well, good news and bad news. One of the big flat tops got slammed, but the other ones went on the Ryoko. Alright, so the Shikoku took a hit. Now, what I'm trying to do is different with this game is, and I think is a problem with most carrier games, is the ability to know exactly how much damage was done to the enemy. So this is where Mr. Lutman's design gave me inspiration with his magnificent style. He has those fire markers you put on the Union position, and it does diminish their ability to respond because obviously there's some kind of disruption going on there, but you don't really know for sure until the Confederates get closer and open fire, or even when you get your bayonet charge in. So I thought, well, why not do that with a carrier board game? I mean, it's easy to do it with computer games because I used to play Complete Carriers at War. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. I haven't played that PC game in a long time. I never really was into PC and video games, to be honest. Very, very few of those. Atari 2600 is my biggest experience with video games. But anyway, but I thought, well, why not do that way with a board game, okay? So what I did was, I made these markers, and they're blank on the one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these markers, blank, and put them on the carriers for hits. So the Shikoku took a hit, and the Ryoko took 2 hits. Okay? So we're going to put those on here to start. Alright? Now, they are face down, so you don't know exactly what kind of damage is there. Alright? Now, since we definitely found something and made contact here, now where the Hornet strike went, the Hornet strike, we will basically end up seeing if there's anything else there. Now, what the Japanese did a few times, they had smaller carriers doing escort duty. Either that or they actually really had a bait carrier, I believe, in Santa Cruz. Well, they had the concept, but they didn't really execute it before then, if memory serves. But they executed it and deliberately did it at Santa Cruz. So if one of the search results finds big carriers, if we get any contact here with the Hornet one, then because of that, we're going to assume that there is a smaller carrier there. So let's see if the Hornet group makes their contact. So once again, we draw a card off the deck. And it's a 0, so no modifier, so we need an 8. Ooh, this time we rolled a 4. Now, if you don't make contact the first time, then you can roll a second time. However, there is a trade-off. If you roll the second time and you make contact, then you're going to roll 1d6 to determine how many planes got lost, how many went off course, how many, kind of like the Midway thing. You know, one group had a hunch they went the right way and the other group went the wrong way. Now the second time is an 8. So, whew, we did get lucky with that. We made contact. But, ooh, we had 5 planes wander off. So, I'm going to have to eliminate 5 planes here. So, I'm going to do 2 Wildcats and put them in my flown box. 2 Dauntlesses and 1 Devastator. So, ooh, that's a lot of planes that, unfortunately, did not find the right target. Okay. Now, since they found a target, this time with the card, we're just going to consult the bottom. So we know it's just going to be a CVL of some kind. Some kind of CVL. And let's see, which one will it be? It is the Shoho in the Rain. I don't know why that carrier always makes me think of Warren Zevon's Werewolves in London, Soho in the Rain. You know, I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand. Walking through the streets of Soho in the rain. Alright, so it is the small carrier, the CVL. Or no, wait. Shoho one had actually been classified. Let me check my charts here. Yeah, the Shoho was a CVE. So it had very, very few planes from my perspective here of what I have. So there's only 2 zeros, which we'll put half up on cap because that was Japanese doctrine from what I understand. And then it had 1 Kate squadron. And again, the different blocks designate the different things there. Okay, so did find it. Let's get our cap battle going here. So now obviously the cap for Shoho will be level 1. And let's see, level 1 with a 7. Not a bad roll, not a bad roll. They did shoot down 1 escort, and they did cause 1 point of disruption. So we do have a point of disruption here. And we did lose a Wildcat. A Wildcat did growl. Alright, anti-aircraft fire. Now again, this only is a CVL, but it's just, my number also reflects not only the strength and the escorts, but also luck factors too. Whoo, and the Soho got lucky. They have a 5, a level 5 anti-aircraft table. That's pretty good. So, now that I say that, they rolled a 4. Still, a 4 on a level 5. Didn't shoot anybody down, but there's 2 more points of disruption. So now that's 3 points here. Okay, so here comes the attack. Alright, so I only have 4 planes. Ooh, so that's only a level 2 attack. Alright, but I will still get my +1 modifier because I have torpedo planes and dive bombers. 6, 7, ooh, I only got an 8. 8 on level 2 is 6. So again, we're only going to get 3 hits here. Okay, now of course since there's only the Shoho, they all go on the Shoho. So, let's take a look here. And I'm just going to warn you ahead of time, I thought my second battery was charged too, but it isn't. What is going on with my batteries today? Alright, so 3 hits on the Shoho. Okay? Alright, now, that's 1 attack. So, we will take the remaining surviving Hornet and Wildcats and put them in their flown boxes, okay, because basically, especially at this point, early on in 1942, most sides were lucky to launch 2 strikes a day. I've been reading Richard Frank's Tower of Skulls, and one of the things he analyzes in the book is about the whole Kido Butai, Pearl Harbor, whether there could have been a 3rd wave. And his argument is it would have been extremely difficult because by the time we recovered the planes from the 2nd wave and got the 3rd wave up in the air and stuff, it would have been pretty close to dark by the time they came back, and of course landing in the dark was tricky business and all. So generally speaking, if you look at the battles, basically you get 2 waves during the day. That's it, okay? So we will have a 2nd wave here, hopefully this episode. If not, I'll break this into 3 parts and I will double check and make sure both batteries are fully charged for the following episode. Okay, so now, after all the smoke is settled, each side will have a repair phase, okay, with this. All right. Now, the Japanese, because of the quality of pilots and all, they are going to get some modifiers for their attack. I'll go over that when the Japanese launch a strike, because, of course, now that they've been hit, they know there's something here. And they know, of course, that since both groups got hit, they know there's got to be at least 2 flat tops in the vicinity, give or take a little bit. But let's just do the repair first. And it is the Japanese. Well, actually, we didn't have to roll because the U.S. wasn't hit. There was no 1st wave. Now, again, the cards, the number, is going to translate into repair points. Now, Japanese repair crews were not very good. And, of course, since we have 2 separate forces here, I'm sorry, no, I got rid of that roll. I'm sorry, I apologize. So, the Japanese drew a 3, so they get 1 repair point, okay? So now what we're going to do is this. I haven't decided yet fully if I'm going to round down or round up just yet. I've been thinking about rounding up, so we're going to stick with that for right now. So, of course, you're going to need to figure out some damage. You're going to have some idea, because your flyers are going to come back and say, dude, oh, we totally hit them. Okay, although they probably wouldn't do it that way back in the 40s. But anyway, so we have 3, oh, where's my pointer? We have 3 hits on the Shoho, 2 on the Ryoho, and 1 on the Shikoku. So rounding up, we're going to reveal half of those rounded up. So, of course, half, 1 over here. So the Shikoku took a torpedo shot. All right. That's kind of a rare occurrence, but I mean, again, I have the things divvied out there. Now, since the Ryoho has 2 hits, we're only going to reveal 1. Let's do the bottom one. They took a dive bomb hit. And down here, the Shoho took 3 hits, so rounding up, that's going to be 2. So we'll do the top, and we'll do the bottom. Okay? All right, now, basically, very quickly here, because this battery's dead too. I do apologize. Yeah, we'll get a third video, but very quickly before the battery runs out. So the repair points, we can fix 1 of these. Now, the amount of damage that's taken will determine, for the second wave, how many planes can be launched. If the Japanese carriers have 3 points of damage total, whether revealed or unrevealed or less, they can launch half their planes. I'm pretty sure that's what I finally decided on, was half the planes for the second wave. Just bear with me a second, I wrote it down. Yeah. So less than 3 hits, less than 3 hits, they can launch half their planes. So basically, or they can launch all their planes, less than 3. So both the Ryoho and the Shikoku will be able to launch full complements of plane. If they have 3 hits, they can only launch half, and then 4 or more they can't launch any because of the amount of damage they've sustained. So what I'll do is I'll pick up with the second wave here a little bit later. We'll do the repair points. 1 repair point, I'll repair the Shikoku, and we'll take it and put it back in the cup. Now, if any of these have been misses, then I would put them back in the cup at this point too. And what will happen later is these hits you see in front of you, they will turn into permanent damage to be assessed at the end of the day after the second strike is done and after 1 last repair attempt too. Okay, battery will be fully charged next time, I promise. I again do apologize, but again, at least here you get to see the damage and how it works with the strikes. So, Tim Korchnoi, Bare Bones Wargaming, saying I'll see you next time with a fully charged battery for the 3rd and final installment of this covering an opening day of carrier battles. I probably won't talk about 2nd and 3rd day because I'm still working out all the details on that. So as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.